Craig, that we have not seen a lineup yet. Is Kyle Tucker playing?
Kyle's not playing today, no.
Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, I mean, he's improved for sure. And I think we'd like to give him the day to just move around and really we want to get him symptom-free. So, I mean, I think Wednesday was a good day in terms of like how he came into the park and felt on Wednesday. I think he was very encouraged, and we were encouraged that, he felt, if he had to absolutely play on Wednesday, he probably could have. But we're going to give him a day to do a little more running around today, and then just see where we're at. But I'm pretty optimistic that we should get him in the lineup by the weekend.
Do you view different injuries in different ways from your own experience? In other words, oblique we know, hamstring we know, calf, it's one of those injuries that sometimes you just don't know about. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, we got to take the information in front of us and make the best decision we can. Kind of, all these decisions are, you're not going to be perfect on them. You get all the information you can get, and you make a good decision. So, today we thought the best thing is for him to spend more time kind of in a controlled environment and not put him in a game which is a little less controlled. We can do that by DHing him and like less exposure with a DH than a playing in the field. So we'll take all those things into consideration, and then every time a player plays, there's some risk, right?
When you have players like him or a lot of your players who insist on playing no matter what, are the conversations sometimes a little bit more difficult as far as your decision to start them or not?
Look, I mean, I think somebody has to we have to make decisions, and we have to and you give the players reasons, and I think they're reasons based in some logic and where we're at kind of in the season and where Kyle's at and how he's feeling, and then you just go from there. But yeah, I mean, I think there's at times there's disagreement for sure. It's okay. That's part of it.
Is there an argument to be made that you should just go on the IL, shut it down?
No, not right now.
Oh, okay.
Not today. There's not.
But they're like you said, symptom free. So by the end of this weekend, then we're talking IL. You think if it's not symptom free?
There's not a reason to do it today.
What's the next step for Tyone after the outing with Iowa?
Yeah, so everything went well yesterday, felt good. We will kind of we're going to get through this weekend and then kind of see what that holds. I think that's just where it's likely that Jamie will rejoins us, but let's get through this weekend and make sure we're kind of in good shape pitching-wise. Soroka will throw a live again tomorrow, and then he will go out on a rehab assignment.
Is there a surprise in the month of September when people like myself and fans are saying, well, this is how it's going to go, and then all of a sudden you see that guys are getting hurt on teams, guys are performing well? Does that last month kind of skew, the observation of baseball?
Are you asking if I'm surprised when you get something wrong?
Not just here, everywhere. And I mean, every team seems to be having these spring training-like challenges in September.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's 23 games of baseball left to be played. So, you're playing the games, right? We're playing the games, and so things are going to happen. Like I said, when the players go out there, it's a competition and things can happen. But you also have to fulfill the schedule, and you have to win. We have to win baseball games still. So it's the nature of a season, and I think some things has changed. Maybe like how rosters are. There's 28 guys. These are your guys. There's nobody else. There's no new guys coming in, and that's how it's going to be. So there's a lot of I think maybe the point you're making, there's a lot of baseball left, and a lot of things can happen to us, to other teams, absolutely. And so nothing, I think you can at this point of the season like say, well, this is what's going to happen, and you think you're sure of it, and that's why getting past today, you have an eye on the future, absolutely, but really your focus is today, and making good decisions today, and playing a good game today, preparing well today, and then move on to the next day, because the future is always a little cloudy, and you're going to make more mistakes just thinking about all that stuff.
Pete's in the line.
Pete's playing, yes. Yeah.
Craig, apologies if you've been asked about this a few times already since you've got Santana, but he's played more games than anybody in baseball over the last 15 years.
Uh-huh.
So what have your conversations been with him about playing time?
Yeah. I mean, bringing Carlos in, I think that was an important point to bring up with him and discuss with him, is to understand what his role is going to be. He's here to fortify the roster, to bring insurance to the roster. There may be playing time, there may not be playing time. He's aware of that, and we talked about that before he signed.
Is Tucker available off the bench? I can't remember if you said it.
So we're going to let him run around today and kind of make a judgment after that. Yeah.
With Assad coming back, and especially that last out in Colorado, he's healthy, just given his history where he's started, he's been in the bullpen. Like, what can that do for you? Last 20 games and potentially.
Yeah, most importantly, like I still think we have to be cautious of the innings puzzle for the last. How many games do we have left? So I don't get it wrong. 22. So for the last 22 games, and so I think Javi certainly provides solutions from that end, and an important part of that solution.
How much does your just sort of standing playoff position play into like a decision with Tucker? Like, we don't need to push this, or Tyone presenting it to him like, hey, you're going the IL. Just how much does that sort of where the team's at kind of allow you a little bit to work planning for more than just 22 games?
Yeah, I mean, it factors in. I don't know if it factored into the Tyon decision, but I think there's a small factor in it. I think at this point where we're at, I don't think we're at that point yet. I think we always want to think we're at that point before we are, and so we've just got to focus on today and winning a baseball game, and then if that brings something that if we have different decisions to make at some point, but right now we don't have different decisions to make. We do the right thing for the player, like we talked about, and play a good game today and worry about that.
Yeah, one follow-up on the Santana, because a lot of players are used in, matchup based. Do you see anything in his background or the data suggests that if you pick and choose his chances, that he'll be a better hitter than he's been when he's posted every day the last few years?
I think it's all, you can use your own personnel. I think affects that. It's clear Carlos has been a better right-handed hitter than a left-handed hitter over the course of really most of his career. That's obvious to the other team, and but Carlos has also been productive, from the left side of the plate as well. Not as much this year, but yeah, I think you do that with every player.
Conceptually, managers usually have a better read of the unknown going forward. When it comes to your offense and getting back to the many facets that you have available to you of using, base running and hitting around the ballpark, do you feel that type of thing can come back to being a part of your team's offense?
Like just scoring more runs?
Well, but the way that you did, as opposed to, waiting for the home runs to happen as been a lot in the case over the last 6 weeks.
Well, from a base running perspective, a lot of that is opportunity. I mean, we can't make up opportunities that aren't there. Base running is kind of that's a big part of the base stealing game. We have to be presented with the opportunities. From an offensive perspective, look, like the home run's important, man. I don't think we talked about this a little bit. The home run is an important part of the baseball offense. It really is, and I think we were a pretty successful because we were hitting a bunch of home runs. We've hit less home runs, so that's an important part of it. It's the best way to score in baseball. So it's going to be important that if we want to be a better offense, we're going to have to hit some more home runs, and that's how it's going to have to work.
When you say opportunity, is it purely just like getting Pete on first with nobody on second?
I'm talking about what the opportunities the other team gives us more.
Like pitcher, catcher.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to make
Yeah.
Hey, Craig, back to like just PCA sitting and Tucker before that. This might seem obvious, but without stats in front of you, it feels like when players do get days off, like they really do respond. And in your experience, is it am I just making that up in my head, or is that there's really a good response usually when there's a couple days off? And it really makes a difference.
Well, that's why you do it, I think. But I don't have data behind it. It is one of those things where it's a gut feel. It's a gut decision for sure. And there's data in front of it that's suggesting that maybe it's time to do it. But you're just looking at the person and the player. You're talking to coaches and people down here, and just it's what the player needs, what's best for the player. And often, look, you're often kind of doing it at maybe a lower point for the player, so you're likely to improve. But I think in my experience, like it's been helpful for players, and it's mental as much. It's the mental reset and just the break of trying to of being frustrated by the results. That's a big lift off guys. It's just the lift of being measured by your results every single day. Like that's a real grind that players go through, and I'm not making excuses for them. It's just part of performance every day, and getting a break from the judgment on that performance every day it's easier and it's helpful, and it makes you a little sunnier inside, if that makes sense, right? And that's the goal for the player, to kind of get back to square one and get back to neutral.
Or just follow up. I mean, it's a deeper conversation, but like the phrase load management isn't really part of baseball that much. Are teams examining that a lot? Like, even if you're going well, maybe you should get more time off, things like that. But
I don't know if this is like I mean, I think of load management more as a physical tactic in the NBA. I might be wrong about that. Maybe it's more than that. I think the NBA is it's a completely different sport. But the concept, I'm not. This is not about. I don't know. I think this case is like it's both. You know what I mean? And so. I'm not thinking about it like that.
Back to your home run comment. Do you see guys?
I know you wouldn't like that.
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's true. But the idea that Wrigley has played, as we've talked about ad nauseum,
Yeah.
the way it has the last 2 years, do you see players getting demoralized by hitting home run balls that aren't home runs?
Look, it's not. I don't think they're demoralized. I think when you think about this is one of the things great about baseball is that, or the rough things about baseball is that you can do your job really well. It should mean a home run, and it's not. It's an out, right? It's not, and that's just a unique thing about baseball, right?
But here right now.
Yeah, and well, not today. Today's a little different, but I think it's a unique thing about baseball. So I don't think it's demoralizing, but over the course of time, when a player, if say a Suzuki has had 3 home runs taken away from him, that over a month statistics like that's going to really change how you kind of feel about yourself and things like that. So that's what it does, I think, a little bit. And then maybe it convinces you're got to do something a little different, and that's the kind of carryover effect that the everyday nature of baseball can do to you. So I think that's why we talk about process and doing what you can control, and that's, say I can control hitting the ball hard, that's it. He can't control the weather. But we're going to keep saying that it's still hard for the players to, right?